That's right. You are listening to the Mr. Mac podcast. Welcome. I am joined with my fearless co-host, Jesse Coleman. Jesse, how you doing today?
Doing great.
Listen, before we get into anything, I got to ask you, because you and I haven't talked in a while, and the last time we spoke, you told me that you were pumped about getting an Apple TV. That was on your list of things to do.
I did it. Yeah.
You did it.
Yes.
You're in.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me.
I'm sure everyone's been waiting to hear about this.
Well, I have, because the world of Apple TV and then the world of Rokus and Fire Sticks. What did you have before?
Well, I've kind of been an Apple TV person, but I've used Rokus and.
Wait a second, you've had Apple TVs for
I've had an older one. I've had an older one, but then I kind of was moving into a new place. They had a smart TV, so it's kind of the TV UI. I've used a lot of TV UIs.
Yeah.
Used to work in a company where I was designing TV UIs.
No way.
And so always looking at Apple TVs all the time. So yeah.
Meaning looking over your shoulder at them, or like looking at them because you own one and you're going through the different settings?
I mean, looking at them as somebody designing app, TV UIs. I mean, they do a really great job, and just how you enter text and the voice UI and all of those things. Those are all huge things, inspirations. Yeah.
So you've gone straight to the design aspects, which, because you're a designer, you've been in app design for a long time. Before that, physical design as an architect.
Yeah.
All right. This is the number one argument that I make for the Apple TV experience with my customers versus just like using a Fire Stick: speed.
Yeah.
Number two reason, though, is I feel so calm when I turn on my Apple TV.
Yeah.
Like if I turn on somebody else's Fire Stick, like if we're on vacation or something, it's super stressful. I'm getting nailed with ads.
Yeah.
And everything is just a huge noisy mess.
I mean, but isn't that basically an Android? I mean, most of those TV UIs are kind of Android based, and
sure.
I mean, I feel the same way when I pick up an Android phone. Sometimes. I mean, I have an 84-year-old neighbor who will not get an iPhone. You've
tried?
Well, yeah, and she
How does the experience?
Well, she always somehow gets baited into some ad saying that she's about to her phone is full and she needs to download this thing. So I have to go in and I have to go and delete all of these apps, and there's like these things popping up constantly. It's that stressful. It's just like you almost can't use the phone because she's kind of cluttered it. Anyways, but. Yeah.
So half the Android experience, period, but then also have her piling on.
Yeah, but that
scams and
bringing back to TVs though. I mean, it's the same thing. It's a lot of animation that's not done real well. It's just like, hey, we can do this, and so it's just things popping and trying to grab attention, and it's one of those, when everything's important, nothing's important. You almost can't focus on those TVs. I feel the same stress.
Yeah, for sure. I'm getting worked up just thinking about it. Okay, so then I have something for you that's been breaking. Kind of a good news, bad news situation.
Okay.
New Apple TV's coming out.
Oh.
It's been a long time.
Okay.
Like we've been cruising with the 5th generation Apple TV for a while, Apple TV 4K. And the new one is supposed to have the A17 chip in it. It was basically last year's, the current iPhone series. And so I'm very excited for even more speed, more performance. What remote do you have with yours? You must have the silver one.
Yeah, the new silver one.
With the button in the way. So did you use the one before that had the touchpad at the top?
Yeah.
What do you think between the two?
It's interesting because they even before the touchpad, they had the very similar kind of like the circle, directional.
Yeah, right.
Right. And then they went to touchpad.
So you're talking about the silver one that had the ring. That was more iPod-esque. And then we went straight touchpad. And then now we got the 5th gen one, the silver one. So which one do you like out of those three?
Definitely like the circle. I mean, what are you calling it?
The touchpad? Oh, the newest one?
Yeah.
I'm just saying the 5th gen remote. That's what I would call it.
It's got the circle.
It's kind of the best of both worlds, right?
But it's tactical.
The circle, but then there's a touch. Right. There's a touch circle in the middle.
Right, which I think that's a lot better. I think the other one with the touchpad too kind of had symmetrical buttons. I remember kind of not know, like especially at dark, you couldn't tell which did what. Like if you didn't memorize it,
right.
If you
and
didn't
the buttons below it.
Right.
True. They did have a raised white ring, plastic ring around the menu button, so I appreciated that.
Yeah.
This is I've been waiting to say this though, and I wasn't planning on it, but here it is. I think we didn't know what we had with the 4th generation remote. So that's the black one with the touchpad. In terms of scrubbing, like if you accidentally restart the movie and you were already 3/4 of the way through, no better piece of hardware than the 4th gen remote with the black touchpad.
Yeah, that's true.
You just swipe, and you're an hour and 30 minutes in after like 2 swipes.
That was really cool. I do remember that.
Yeah, like I complained more about that piece of hardware than almost any piece of Apple hardware besides maybe the mouse that you have to charge with being upside down in turtle mode.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what I had until the scrubbing became more difficult with the 5th generation remote with the one in the middle.
Do you use the phone remote for that?
For scrubbing? No.
Have you done that?
It's too. Of course, yes. Yeah. I mean, we do it when we lose the remote. Yeah. And we need to move along. You know, it's like, look, we're sitting down to dinner. Are we going to try to find the remote, or can I just press play with my control center? Yeah. So the one thing though that the 5th gen does have that the 4th gen does not, because we've lost our 5th gen remote, so we went back. Okay. So I enjoy the scrubbing. Missed the mute button.
On the
4th gen, okay. There's no mute button on it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you paid a lot more attention than I did. Even though
it's because
I didn't focus too much on the remotes, but I mean that used to be something we looked at a lot, was remotes and how those are laid out. Yeah.
Well, you're focusing on the software, obviously, and with the new liquid glass, we've talked at quite some length with everybody about like, do we like it? Do we not like it?
Yeah.
There is a phrase that I've been researching recently, and I'm wondering if you have it in your circles, skeuomorphism.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me what that means to you.
Skeuomorphism is something that looks real. And actually, Apple used to have this skeuomorphic, design when they first came out. iPhone was skeuomorphic.
Sure,
it was
Steve Jobs was skeuomorphic positive.
Right.
He felt like that was the way to go.
There was an app that had like stitching on it, and even like the GarageBand originally, right? It's like it's guitar strings and you can strum them, and it looks like something in real life that you're interacting with. So skeuomorphism is basically just building an interface that looks as close to real life, but you're still interfacing with it through glass or through a mouse and stuff like that. So
some examples that are commonly used is like if the Notes app looked like a torn white like yellow legal pad. Right. That was the icon for interacting with it. The original podcast app, which now is not anything close to skeuomorphism. It's like just a little Wi-Fi icon with a person. Mm-hmm. Before it was like a reel-to-reel type of setup on the very first icons that came out. So but I feel like we're getting back there a little bit. Like I've seen some of those things show up, at least where you're like, this is what it would really be like if you were interacting with glass on top of your iPhone with the liquid glass lineup.
Yeah, it's this weird Inception thing, isn't it? It's like, let's make it look like if this wasn't glass. I don't know.
If this wasn't pure electronics.
Real, it's like,
This is like this is what a real calculator looks like. Mm-hmm. I think the interesting one that you said though is GarageBand. With like, I'm going to strum this guitar with the strings, when really there's no reason to do that in the electronic world.
I feel like there was also like a I don't know, it might not have been Apple, but it was like a desktop, and it had like leather stitching, and things were on there, like apps and stuff like that. Like
there was leather stitching. The game center was like a felt, like a green game table felt top. Right. And a lot of that changed when Johnny Ives came on the scene. Yeah. I think it was 2013, iOS 7 came out. I think the reaction that we have right now with iOS 26 is the most similar to the change that happened with iOS 7 in terms of everybody throwing a fit when they moved originally to flat design. Right. I mean, where are you in that change? Is Johnny Ives your hero when it comes to design on this? Do you think that the flat design paradigm that we're in right now, it needs a whole refresh? I mean, what do you think?
Well, it's interesting because the flat design almost kind of came, and they went to sort of an extreme where it was too flat. And one of the things they realized too is, putting a little bit of drop shadow or putting some sort of visual contrast between that flatness and what you're interacting with, showing something actually like, change colors when you press it. That a press button versus a non-engage button, right? Yeah. Those are all these visual cues that let you know, hey, I am interacting with this. The system is picking up. So there's always going to have to be some sort of visual cue. Those micro interactions are super, super important for people to know, hey, I touch this, something's going to happen, and my expectations, are being met. So I feel like they kind of, and this is what a lot of what Apple does is they kind of iterate over time, and they fine tune it. I mean, they're usually, I mean, I think we always talk about the, IA and within Apple. And I mean, I think that's one of those things. They're putting a lot of IA inside of different experiences.
Are we talking about intelligence actual?
Yeah. I mean, you and I are talking about.
Are we talking about AI?
AI.
Okay.
Yeah. What did I say?
We said IA.
Oh.
Which is a product.
Information architecture versus, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
AI. Right,
AI. So yeah, AI. So their AI is like, being built into that system. And I think, but I mean, that's how Apple does a lot of that stuff. It's these smaller little interactions that they build over time. And it's not like this huge, I mean, they do make some big changes, but then they're constantly fixing it, like with tiny little updates and stuff like that. But so for instance, going back to like the flat, I mean, I think they started really flat, and then I think they brought in some skeuomorphism into even the flat UI, which made it feel a lot more responsive, made it feel a lot more like you're interacting with the thing. So, and I think they're doing that to some degree with the liquid glass. Like I think I don't know. I know when they first came out, and I don't know. I mean, there's so many little subtle things in it, but I mean,
what's the number one like thing that liquid glass does where you're like, that was cool?
Yeah, I mean, I think like
that jumps out to you as a designer.
Yeah, there's things like on like I was just noticing this the other day. I think it was, what was it? Maybe it was a music app.
No, pull it up, because what I want to do is go through the icons and the redesigns and see which ones you think, like which ones are the winners and which ones they dropped the ball on. Like for me, like the clock app and the way that I don't like the direction that they went with that. They made it look like a kind of classic timepiece, and every time I look at it, it looks out of place.
The clock app?
Yeah.
Show me what you're looking at.
Well, again, the clock app being
one
of the
icon.
only apps that's been a widget. The clock app and the calendar app, the only two apps that Apple makes that changes depending on what time it is and what the date is.
Right. Yeah, and then I mean like that's true. Yeah, the clock app. I don't even have the clock app on here. I just kind of search for it. But yeah, no, I mean, so some of the things I think it does really well is, I mean, and I can't remember where I was seeing this, but the icons down at the bottom, that the search, one thing that's huge is the search down at the bottom. Yeah. Like I've gotten so used to that, and I'll go into other apps that have search, and search is up at the top, and it's just like, oh my gosh,
sure.
I gotta
all the way up there.
What do you think? I'm a peasant? Got to move my finger up there? Like, come on.
Do you hit that button or do you pull down?
I'll hit the button, or I mean, depending if I'm on this, I do pull. Yeah, I pull down. Sure. Yeah, but having it right there too is great. I mean, it's right there, so I kind of do both. But like in music, I'll do a search. I'll hit the search. But the cool thing is once you scroll, all of these other things kind of go away. Yeah. And then the music moves down. So so just to describe it, it's home, new, radio, library. All of those are down at the bottom in the app bar. And then as you scroll, you don't need all of those. You're still on home. You can see that. But if you tap it, you can jump to whatever.
So I do like that they disappear.
And it kind of moves off to the side. Yeah, it's kind of what you're on, but you can get back to it at any time. It's there when you need it, out of the way when you don't,
Yes. However, that has caused some issues and concern with my customers for Safari. So right now in the Safari app, do you have the new format, or did you roll it back to iOS 18?
No, I got
so you got the new one where the bar's at the bottom.
Yeah.
So when you want to go to new tabs, what do you do?
I hit the more button.
You do. You go double taps, and you've been.
Well, I just hit that and then new tab.
Okay, let me give you something, because I rolled it back, and I've been having everybody else roll it back. So you can do that in the settings and go back to the iOS 18 lineup where it has the 4 buttons across the bottom. Still, of course, disappears when you scroll up, which is what you're talking about. That's advantageous. But I'm gonna give you something that I hope will speed up your day to day. Just swipe up on the URL.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That is helpful.
It is, dude. Swipe.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, all credit goes to my nephew, Josiah. He was like, no, because I was telling him about it, because we made a video on how to roll it back for everyone who's
because I was trying to do like the pinch, because the pinch brings it back up, but too. I was like, and then,
but you got to get that other hand out, or you got to do one of these little crab moves where you hold it and then pinch it. Now just swipe up on the URL.
That's great.
Yeah, that's what Apple wants you to do. That's why they felt, because I was like, there's no way they're okay with having 2 taps to bring up all tabs. Right. And they're not. It's a swipe up. The other one he gave me in the same breath, though, because like the other one that's missing for now takes 2 taps is share. So instead of doing more and then share, just hold your finger on the URL, and then you'll get that pop up to copy or share.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm using that a lot too. Either the swipe up or the pop. So I do. It's almost like when I learned that, I was like, dang, I should have had more faith in their design team.
Yeah.
Because I was as furious as anybody else that I had to press the button twice instead of just press it once. But yeah, a swipe up on the URL. Or
there's a lot of
a long press on the URL. Well, I tell everyone all the time, the UI is quite intuitive as long as you know what to look for.
Yeah, like if you know, hey, I should be able to look long hold or tap or
But if you don't know what you're looking for, a lot of the stuff is invisible. Another good example is in the macOS Mail app. If you want to add a new mailbox, that little plus sign, you have to hover over it over on the left-hand side. To me, that one should be more evident. I don't know why it doesn't hang out all the time, but Apple loves a clean design.
Yeah.
They hide all their buttons and things, and usually you can intuitively find it. But for me, the swiping up on the URL, I wasn't able to get there on my own. I don't know.
I can talk about the Apple Mail app. That's been interesting. Do you do the boxes?
The categories.
The categories and stuff?
I tried it. I turned it off. I use it for cleanup.
Yeah.
Like if it's like, you know what, I'm behind. We need to get rid of 60 to 70% of these emails. Then I'll use the categories just to make mass deletion easier.
Yeah.
And then I'll go through the primary one at a time.
But see, this is what I don't understand on this one is if you're on primary, you get a unread, filter by unread. But if I move to anything else,
there's no filter by unread.
There's no filter by unread until you get to the all mail, and then it comes back.
Sure.
Which I'm just like, I don't understand that.
I think I know why.
Okay.
And this is a really interesting concept when it comes to conflicts of the software. So the one with iPad and multi-window is a good example that we'll talk about in a second. But I don't think you can use unread because the other categories by default are grouped by sender, not by time, not just by chronologically.
Gotcha.
And I think you can change that. You can turn off the sender and then do it so it's individual. But since they're grouped all into like everything from TurboTax, like everything from Wealthfront, everything like since they're all together, you can't really filter by unread.
Which is actually a lot more helpful, right?
You like it like that?
I do.
Like
Well, because
I like time only, chronology only.
Well, it's nice for transactions, notifications, or updates, promotions. Because then it's like, okay, backcountry, right? I swipe over. I'm archiving 21 messages. Great. I don't need to go one by one. That's kind of speeds that up. Yeah. If you're cleaning up stuff.
Definitely on the cleanup. That's when I'll use it. I do have the FOMO for the rest of it though. Like that I'm going to miss something. So I leave it. I usually leave it in all mail or I turn categories off most of the time just so I can see everything come in. But yeah, when it's cleanup time, I'm using the categories and I usually actually use it through Google directly. I just go to gmail.com because I trust their filters the most.
Their filters are, are better. Yeah.
They're a little better search. They've been doing it a lot longer and those categories have been there since 2010. Maybe.
Yes, I have had to do that where I was looking for an old email and I had to go pull up Google because I couldn't find it here in Apple.
Yeah, right. You typed in the same search term, right?
Exactly the same.
It makes me worried. And I actually have a note here to not talk about Siri in the new Siri because it was supposed to come out with 26.4. And I don't want to talk about it because like I'm so tired of being disappointed. So, because it's already been delayed. Like, they just announced it, like, it's not coming out in 26.4. That maybe there's a new Siri later and then something closer to Apple Intelligence. But the fact that search is missing so obviously from these other apps, specifically Mail, is making me pretty concerned for the AI experience in general.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Apple sometimes is slow to that stuff, but they usually come back and hit winners, eventually.
I do know.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, look at Maps. I feel like Maps has gotten, I remember when Maps first came out, it was just disaster. No one used it. It was terrible.
No one used it. There were some cases in Australia where it was taking tourists to like the middle of the country where no one should ever go. Yeah. Just 3 hours, like one direction. Like, I'm sure the Opera House will be up here somewhere.
Yeah.
And then they had to get rescued. So some famous fails with that, but you're right in that they do usually come back around. It seems like their general approach, you mentioned IA earlier, or like integrating it into the apps. They've said no to the chatbot thing originally. Do you support that? I mean, or for me, for a company, they were basically, I was super triggered when Craig Fidieri was like, we don't want to just build another chatbot. Like, these things are not just chatbots. Like, it is a completely different way to aggregate and then go through information. And then process data.
No, you're right. I mean, I think you and I were talking about this. Like, how great would it be to go, look at all my emails, find, conversations with my mom, and figure out what I should get her for Mother's Day, right? Like, it'd be great to be able to use that type of like,
Yeah, 100%. And then the big one for me is notes.
Yeah.
Like, what's my
notes,
count right now? I have 770 notes. Okay, so, and these are a bunch of either random thoughts or things I need to pray for, or people that appointments that I need to catch up with, and then give me some assessment on what I should do this year based upon what I haven't done in the last 20 years.
Yeah. Or things like, I have 975 notes in
975
in iCloud.
Oh, dang it. Hold on, I could. Hold on, how much do I have at Google?
I'm pretty. I don't know that that's a. Yeah, that might just be.
Is that not a brag?
Well,
it's not the brag that I thought it was.
Knowing you, I think you're way more organized. I probably just start new notes and don't go back to the old ones.
I do try to cut down on those, but also that you don't. It's not like I've looked at more than 70 of these 770s a second time.
But I started using, the Notes app, when it first came out. So I've been using it, and I switched.
That's a brag.
I did switch to
when it was skeuomorphic.
What was the one with the elephant? What's the one? Evernote. I was in Evernote for a while, and I came back to Notes. Yeah,
I've been through all of them. I've been through Evernote. I've been through what's Microsoft's OneNote, which I really like their approach. Yeah, well, the Write Anywhere service is really good, and I just keep coming back to Apple Notes.
Yeah,
I mean, their search function is pretty good, at least on the notes, and it's the simplicity. It's the simplicity of the whole thing, which is really what I need it for.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we want to see with AirTags? Did you know that the second AirTag came out and it's coming up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you want to see in AirTags in 2040? Because like right now it's just a little bit further.
Right.
Which is still, by the way, I looked it up. The best tile tags, Bluetooth tags, is like 500 feet.
That's the best. Wow.
Yeah, which is incredible. It's still like twice as far as the new AirTags. So do you think that we can get something that is going to be basically you can find it anywhere at any time?
I mean, I think eventually they're going to figure that out. I mean, I feel like some of the low energy Bluetooth technology, I kind of have some connected home stuff that's like low energy Bluetooth, and it's pretty amazing. You have to have a hotspot that comes with it, but it seems like they're going to figure that out. How to use how to piggyback off of things and send that signal no matter what.
I think so.
Yeah.
Just before this podcast, I was getting a haircut, and my barber just had AT&T come to their barbershop and convince them to get off of Spectrum.
Okay.
Which this whole community is Spectrum only, and I was like, AT&T came here, and she was like, yeah, they just rolled out, and I was like, there's no way AT&T's laying fiber in Texas in this town, and so I went and I asked, and I looked at the modem, and I was like, okay, this is just cellular, like there's no wires connected outside of power, that's it. So AT&T, and I've seen this roll out, is doing something called AT&T Air. And so there's just been more and more captures of this cellular signal rolling around town, rolling around every town, and basically transferring it to Wi-Fi. So if I was a coax-based Wi-Fi or internet company, I'd be concerned, because it seems like cellular is going to be able to run everything.
Well, there's the line of sight fiber. That's what I have. I mean, that's what I have out here is line of sight fiber.
Okay.
So it's like
what speeds are you getting?
I'm getting just as same as Google better than my mom. She has Google Fiber in Austin, and yeah.
And how's your like upload? Because the thing about fiber is your upload and your download can almost be equal.
Yeah.
Or for everything else, it's like 10%.
I don't think look. That's a good question. But I mean, I work from home, do videos all day. Every once in a while, there's like some weird stuff. But I mean, the downside to it is it's like a big, dish that goes, 20 or 30 feet up in the air and has to point at something.
Sure.
So, but you see them around. Once you see it, you're like, oh,
do
that's
the storms mess it up?
No.
Okay.
I haven't had problems with it. Yeah.
That's good. All right. So I got two more things. Number one, Apple Creator Studio.
Yeah.
It's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you're a big Keynote guy when it comes in general, but then are you excited about it fixing some of the limitations that you experience with Keynote for iPad? Are you subscribing yet?
No, I haven't subscribed to it yet.
Next episode, we're gonna have to have like a hands-on.
Okay, I might do a trial of it. It looks kind of interesting. And I mean, you get like Final Cut Pro and
sure,
and all of the other big things that normally were just kind of didn't make sense, right?
Yeah, right?
So it's like, oh, I could swing this for a year and play around with it, see if I use it, But a lot of the stuff that I saw for Keynote were just advanced templates and stuff like that. So
yeah, okay, you haven't seen anything to blow you away.
No, I mean, I'll look into it more, but I think for me, I'm pretty good at just starting from scratch and kind of building Keynote stuff, which I love. I mean, the thing that's weird to me, and we've talked about this, is they don't have the SF symbols integrated into Keynote. They have these
Remind us what SF symbols are.
SF is San Francisco font, which is kind of the font that Apple created for all of their digital products. So there's display, there's SF display, there's SF compact, there's SF rounded, so they have this whole litany of SF font typefaces that they use, and they're all engineered for readability and screen sizes and things like that. So just amazing font, But one of the other things is they also have a whole SF symbols. So they've created like 900. I don't know how many, vector symbols they've created, but they have double color. They have different colors. So when you
change the color on there.
Yeah, so like if you're looking at notes right now, this, the check, the circle with the check and the lines, and then the chart, and then the paperclip.
All the icons.
Those are all SF symbols. Like you can go
all freely available.
Yeah, and like there's we're sharing this note that we're looking at, right? So it's got the person with the check mark. So you could even change the check mark to a green and the person to the yellow. So there's a lot of variation, and then they have all of the animations in that they announced. I can't remember when they announced that, but the jitter and it's the pop up and all of that stuff.
Wait, for like the iMessage animations?
For SF symbols, yeah.
Really?
So all of those are built into
SF.
The
bloom and all that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was animation along with it.
Yeah, so cool. I mean, you can kind of pull those things in and use them in a lot of stuff. So it's cool, especially if you're building. To me, and then if you're in Keynote has a bunch of boilerplate images and stuff like that, but they're kind of more stock images. They kind of have a corporate-y feel to them. But if you go in and just pull from SF symbols, you can usually tell a story, but everything's consistent. You can size it exactly the right size. You can make, they're all vector, so you can make them big. You can change color. Super easy. It's a little bit of work, but yeah.
This is a minor point, but can you change the color to anything? Like, can you pick the color with an eyedropper, or is it like, here are the 6 colors?
No, yeah, you can. I mean, that's the thing is if you bring it in as a SVG I'll copy it as an SVG.
Yeah.
Which is
and then you can modify it however you want, like a regular SVG file.
Yeah, you break it apart, and then you can save it to your symbols in Keynote. So I've done that. I brought in a whole bunch of SF symbols into my Keynote, and then broke them apart, and then I just save them into that, and then I can just pull them in, change color. And then you can do eyedropper. You can make them exactly the way you want it. So it's like completely editable, which is pretty cool.
Well, I'm sorry that the Keynote doesn't do that for iPad. I know you've kind of moved your primary workflow over there.
Yeah, like I can't get SF symbols on the iPad. So
if for any app of any kind?
No, I just can't. I mean, the SF symbols are in the apps, but like there's an application that's only on desktop, which is SF Symbols.
For the SF Symbols app.
Yeah, you can go pull it from Apple Developer, the Apple HIG, Human Interface Guidelines.
Industry term.
Well, HIG is Apple's design system, right?
Okay.
And then Material is Android's. So Material design,
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Last thing, the nano-texture. You went out for the extra $100, $200.
Well,
for
you
your
have
iPad.
to. They only have it on the 1 terabyte. So you kind of
like it's like $500 and then another $100.
Yeah.
They say it's much closer to being better to write on.
Right.
Okay. I've had people ask me and go out and get some of these other writing products because there's quite a few that brag like it's just like writing on paper.
Right.
I mean, how's your experience with the nano-texture?
I 100% would recommend that over any of the films and any of the pencil tips and all that.
I've used like paper. It's called a paper write.
Right.
And I put it on there, and I didn't get much out of it.
No,
the nano-texture has been pretty close.
The nano-texture is great. It just has enough of that pull where it doesn't feel like because like when you're just on slick glass, it has a kind of a gross feeling to me.
Sure.
Like it just doesn't feel good to write. And on the nano-texture, it just has enough. It has enough of that little like just tack to it that when you're doing the pencil. The other thing is it doesn't ruin the pencil tips. And then the other thing is those kind of films that you put on your screen, you end up going through them. They wear out. They look dirty.
Do you go through them? I mean, I always get the box and then I hold on to these tips. I guess I'm not using it enough.
No, I mean, if you're drawing on it a lot, I mean, you'll wear that stuff out. Okay. And it also just kind of anytime you put a film on an Apple product, it just kind of, there's a bubble or it just doesn't look as good,
Sure.
And that's a great thing about this is it's sort of like, it is the screen that Apple designed. Everything comes through. They figured out like the visual, the light, all of that. So it looks fantastic. It's interesting though, because the way they sold it was, it reduces glare, and it's
that's the thing. Like before you said it, I mean, I watch all the keynotes, and I didn't remember them talking about that at all.
They didn't.
That it was like 1,000 times better than writing on glass.
Yeah.
Or writing on the regular iPad. All right, awesome. Well, listen, if you want to go get yourself an iPad or learn more about it or to enjoy today's deep dive into the Apple's past, present, and what's coming next with features like Apple Intelligence, be sure to subscribe. And hey, listen, go share the show with someone who loves Apple as much as you do. At Mr. Mac, we believe technology should feel empowering, not overwhelming. And we'll keep breaking it down one update at a time. Thank you for listening. It's been the Mr. Mac Podcast. See you on the next one.